So I've decided to create a SaaS, okay? Not a SaaS, just a business, right? So I thought, why not vlog it on YouTube? It's going to be interesting to show most of the steps. So here I am, okay? So this won't be like a polished, edited documentary. It's just going to be me mumbling on, maybe just repeating words, stuff like that. I thought it would be fun for me. So let's just get into it. So what's my idea? My idea for a business is, I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a horrible idea, but it might be interesting. It might be crazy enough to work. It's a SaaS where, not a SaaS, I keep saying SaaS. It's a business where I create the MVP uh, software for different businesses, different SaaS, different founders, and they don't have me to pay me anything. So that's the business, right? So like, uh, like the idea is that before profiting, there's no risk for them. Okay, so they handle everything, buying the domains, like hosting deployment, stuff like that. But I take care of the development and design. So when they profit, then I get paid. So it will probably, I'll probably regret this. Okay, the chances of me regretting this are super high. But uh, you have to do stuff like this in life sometimes. So let's just get into it. I've already picked out a name, pre success. If you have any better naming ideas, like drop it down in the comments. Anyway, though, let's start. This will be the branding or the brand page. Today I'm gonna be trying to create a logo. That's like, if I can create a good logo, I think that would be enough for today. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Okay, so most of the time people are raising their arms in pictures where they are showing success. So something like that. So think of it like this. So if this is a person raising their arms, like if this is a person, I know this is the best drawing of a person you have ever seen. But if this is a person like uh, raising their arms after some success, I think we can incorporate this with technology and SaaS products somehow. So let's just try to create an interesting idea here. Um, I'm thinking to just use squares. I don't know why. I'm thinking of squares today. So 32, I'm not sure, 48 maybe? 48. Looks fine. Let's give it some corner radius around 8. Let's tilt it, duplicate it, and flip it horizontally. Okay. Might work, that might work. So let's tilt it a bit here. If we go 120 here maybe. Here we could go around 45. Is that the case? Like 120 to 45? It's 60 actually. So nobody's gonna care. Uh, but I know I'm gonna lose sleep over this. So it's better to make it perfect. So consider this the arms, okay? Looking at it, I'm gonna make it smaller. Not that kind of small. 24 on the side. So this looks like arms. This could work. Then we would have a head, right? So instead of a circle, I'm thinking to use squares again. But this time actual squares, like 32 by 32, around 8. Okay, so let's just duplicate this. Move it around. Does this work? It looks like people are hugging. I'm not sure. Am I the only one seeing this? But it looks like they're hugging. Maybe success has something to do with hugging. Would this work? I'm not sure. But my idea was like to have like different websites to for these squares to represent different websites. Like these could show desktop versions and these could show mobile versions. Okay, let's just work with it. Let's say that the person has a wide face and for some reason there are gaps in his face. Around here. Okay, let's just work with that for now. Let's group these. Let's take these further apart. And I'm gonna give this a different shade just to distinguish it. Now you can see like how they're hugging, right? It's not only me. Yeah, so now I want to center this. Okay, we can just group these two again, I think. And Shift A and just decrease the spacing around 8. Okay. Okay, maybe it could work. Why not? Why not? Why not? Okay, let's go 2. Maybe. Okay, so how are we gonna color this? Like, this is most people's favorite parts, coloring. How are we gonna do this? I'm thinking of green. The reason I'm thinking of green is because I read someplace that blue is the color of peace. So I'm using green. The best explanation of the year. I'm thinking of something, maybe this bluish green. I'm not sure. Let's go with this. Like, this looks like money, and people associate success with money, I think. So let's take this, but let's just make this a darker theme. Around here, then we could select one part of the head here and one part of the arm. Okay, if this looks like a person, it looks like they're maybe doing more than hugging. So I need to change this up. Okay, they look like they're going for a handshake. Not that close. Maybe let's go with a different route. Okay, so maybe we have just random desktop and mobile layouts just hovering around. Okay, and let's create a distinction here, I think. Although this would be lighter, this would be some different shade. Okay, so let's get rid of this. So I think we can make this work. I think it doesn't look as much as people shaking. Let's ungroup this first. So maybe random UI elements just floating around. Actually, we can try something here, which is something I learned a while ago. Just duplicate this. And let's actually change up the colors here. here, and this one would be here. I think that would make them more random. So the thing I learned was just to duplicate, and the one on top would have an opacity of 1, and it would have an effect of background blur. Okay, maybe I did that wrong. Let's just duplicate this. Opacity 1. Okay, before we duplicate this group, just to make it easier, duplicates. Now we can make the opacity 1 and effects. Background blur around 16. Let's go, or 24. Let's just have a line here, and we have a square on it, right? So did I forget how to make background blurs? Background blur. Okay. Okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah. We have to make it frame selection, right? So then it needs 1% fill. Then we can apply the background blur. 24. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it kind of works, but kind of doesn't. The way I want to do it is just, for example, let's duplicate this. Okay. Let's give it 1%. Go to effects, background blur, 16. Okay, so 16 too much, 8. You see, like this is the sort of effect I'm going for. So here I'm gonna reduce the opacity for all of them to 1, give them background blur. Okay, I keep messing up. Let's do this one by one, okay? Nobody said that this series was gonna be not boring. Let's add an effect then, background blur, 8. Okay, so I get the reason. The reason is I'm not duplicating. I have to duplicate first. Then I can go 1% pure back. Okay, now it works, you see. Yeah. Duplicates, 1%, effect, background blur, 8. Still does work. I'm just really frustrating. Let's go 101. Here too, let's go 101. This is definitely an effect. And maybe we can just offset one of them, like 1 or 2 of them. This looks good, I think. This looks good. So maybe they're just website. Maybe people get it, maybe not. I think that's quite enough. So I'm just gonna have to like structure this page. Feel free to click off the video. This is gonna be boring probably. So I'm just gonna call these model. And this would be the logo, right? So, and this would be the logo, and this would be a component. Okay, that's progress. Let's give this also layouts, padding 64 by 64. What is this? Auto layout here. I'm not sure why it is resizing. Okay, because it has a fill container here. Now 64 by 64. This would be hot content by hot content. 0 pixel gap, central alignment, or top left alignment. That works. So this is our logo. So if you clicked off the video, I'm not sure how I'm talking to you, but there is something we missed actually, which is just to write the name. Let's just duplicate this. I think just duplicate it, which will create a variant, and we need a name, right? So it's pre-success. Hopefully the domain is not taken. It probably is though. It seems like something people would use. Let's make it bigger, around 24. Is enter the best choice here? I'm not sure. I don't think you can go mushroom with enter. Maybe we can use enter and instrument serif. Exotic. And we can take this and somehow incorporate this. Okay, it's not visible enough. It has to be here. Maybe you can make the background a different color. This is very interesting. This is very interesting because I have to change it here. I thought of having this dark color as the background of some parts of the website, so probably I have to change it. Not that short. Okay, that works. Then pre-success here. I quite like that, I'm not gonna lie. And we can make the background a bit more darker here. Yeah. Let's just select this. And here, let's just change it. Okay, great. So I've just created a logo. At least now there is some progress. Yeah. So now let's just take these two. Logo named. Also layout 8 pixels maybe. Yeah. Central alignment, obviously. This has to be bigger. Maybe I can make this semi-bold. But then the pre is not as visible. So maybe let's just make this 32 and let's decrease the size a bit here. Let this be around 72 in size, and this let it be like 64. I think that's a good difference. Let's give it 32 gap, and yeah, that's definitely a logo. That's definitely a logo which was created. And you know what they say, right? So a brand logo is one of the most important parts of a SaaS. I think Gandhi said that. Yeah, let's just finish off here. Let's just okay. Good progress. Meet you the next time, I guess.